Well, I write the truth in all of my songs. So I think with a party song, I'll be more loose, and something talking about a mental illness, I'll be more serious in the message. But I'll be careful with what I say, because when I was writing that song, Paradise Comes with a Price, with my co-writer, we had to make sure that it was helping the person, not making them feel bad that they're going through depression. So we had to be very careful. And sometimes in writing a song, you have to be careful because you also don't want to sound insulting.
Hello and welcome to the Drew Carson Show. I'm your host as always, Drew Carson. On tonight's episode, I sit down for a chat with Canadian singer-songwriting star Sabrina Fallah to discuss her career, her writing process, and so much more. But before we get to that interview, I just wanted to say a big congratulations to the team behind the Fife Club podcast for reaching the big 100 last week. 100 episodes is a huge achievement, and we're ecstatic to showcase your great show every week on Radio Haver. So everyone, if you haven't already, check that show out on Radio Haver on Monday nights at 7 p.m. Also coming up, on the 27th of April, the Comedy Tattoo brings the first of the new monthly comedy nights at Scotland's longest running comedy room, the State Bar Basement. That is on Holland Street in town. They have a lineup that is including Viv G, Joe McSloy, Liam Farley. It's looking like a great night. Tickets are £6, so head over and order those from the Big Monthly Comedy Night event page on Facebook, and you'll be in for a real treat. Also coming up, as part of Rehoming Week 2019, the SPCA are opening their doors to their animal rescue and rehoming centres throughout Scotland. Head along, meet the animals in their care who are looking for their forever homes, then have a look around the centre, win great prizes in the raffle, learn how to care for different pets, and enjoy lots of other fun and games. That's the SPCA. If you're in Glasgow, I think the closest one is in Cardonald, and that is on the 4th of May. Now, before we get to our interview here with Sabrina Fallah, here is Sabrina with her song, The Front Line.
Say
How are you?
Hi, I'm good.
Awesome. Well, I'd like to thank you for coming on the show.
Yes. I love your accent, by the way.
You might not about 10 minutes in when you can't understand a word I'm saying.
No, I understand. I watch Carnation Street, so I like watching. Do you have a bit of a British accent, or is a?
Yeah, I'm from just outside Glasgow in Scotland.
Okay. Yeah. So yes, I can understand you.
Yeah. Well, obviously, when you sent over your EP for us to take a look at, and I was listening to it, the first things that came to mind was there sounds like there might be some influences from, say, bands like Green Day or Billy Idol. Is that something that would be accurate?
Yes, because Green Day and Billy Idol are two of my main influences. I also like Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you hear that, because when people say they can hear the influence, I like it. Because so I'm doing a good job putting their feel in it, and that's what I want. I want people to hear the bands that got me into the rock. So I'm glad you hear, especially Green Day. I'm glad you hear them, because they're the ones that got me into it. So I'm glad.
Yeah, Green Day were one of my favourite bands growing up. Bon Jovi's probably my favourite band still. So yeah, you can definitely hear the influences.
I've seen them. I've seen all of them live. Billy Idol, Green Day, Bon Jovi. Billy Idol was amazing though live. Oh my god. I'm like, I have to see him before I die, because Billy Idol just came to my area in Ottawa 3 years ago, and I'm like, oh my god, I have to go see Billy Idol. Like, and I was first in. I was right in front of him, because I stood in line all day to get to the front, because I'm very short. And I was lucky enough, I got his signed set list that he gave to the people in the front. So I got something from the show, at least, for a souvenir.
Yeah, I interviewed him maybe 2 years ago.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh my, he must have been awesome.
Yeah, it was probably 50 minutes of a 2-hour interview that could be aired. The rest of it was, we did 2 hours, and it was probably about an hour, 10 minutes, hour, 15 minutes that his people came back and said, yeah, you can't air those stories.
Oh.
Yeah, but it was a great interview.
Yeah, so how did that come about?
I kind of know his publicist.
Well, that helps.
Yeah.
Well, lucky you. Good for you. That must have been big for you, getting to interview Billy Idol. Like,
yeah, it was.
That'd be great.
Yeah, it was definitely a big one. It was, yeah, definitely a big one. It was one of the ones early on that then helped the show find an audience.
Yeah. So how was he in person? Was he nice?
Yeah.
Because I've seen some of his interviews. He's very, very, very nice. Yeah.
Yeah. I had some coaching going into it from his publicist. There was some things that
telling you what not to say and what to say.
Yeah, there's some things he doesn't like to talk about, and I'm fine with that, because with the way the show is run, it's always more like a conversation. So it's just whatever would come up. But if there's stuff that's off limits, I never talk about it. And
I don't know what he wouldn't talk about, because I probably have never heard what he doesn't want to talk about. Yeah. So they probably already cut that out. But he's been through a lot in his life, and yeah. I think he has a new. I think he's married now.
Yes.
I think with this Asian lady, whatever her name is. I forgot, some Asian name. But she's very pretty though.
Yeah.
She's young. She's young, that's for sure.
Yeah. So when did your love of music start, and when did you pick up your first instrument?
Grab my first instrument?
Yeah.
So, well, I'll explain how it all started. So when I was a baby, before I could speak, I would be humming tunes. So my parents would always say, you always tried to sing, but you couldn't talk. So I would be humming, just following along with the melody. And then, I don't know the age limit, so I'm just going to say grade 4, I started to write poetry and short stories. I used to always love to write short stories. I don't know why, I just loved writing. And then that led me to songwriting. And I used to songwrite before I would play an instrument. So I was always just writing songs just to write them down. But then at the age of 10, I started learning the piano to learn theory. And that helped me to grab the guitar at 16. But I was told to grab the guitar because I couldn't carry a keyboard around everywhere I would go, and that the guitar would be easier for me. Plus, I feel I'm more of a guitar player. I don't feel I'm a kind of musician to sit behind a piano and sing. Like if I had to, I can because I know how to read the notes, but I'll be more comfortable rocking out on a guitar than playing the piano. Elton John can do the piano playing. I'll stick on the guitar.
Yeah, it's funny how for quite a lot of writers in their journey, no matter what form of writing they go on to, they always start with short form stories. I was the same. I started with short stories, and then that evolved into screenplays.
Cool, yeah.
So like a lot of people that I interview that are writers, they talk about that story, the journey from short story to novels or to songwriting, is like yourself.
Yeah, because I thought if I could write poetry and short stories, that I could write a song, because it's just putting the summarization together and putting it in the song. A story has more into it. The song is to the point of the meaning behind the message in the song. So I don't know. I just like to write things down and write how I feel. And I thought in songwriting, I could put it all there. So,
is it important for you for your songs to have a story, like a journey to them, rather than just being like a good hook in the chorus type, kind of cheesy pop?
I want people to relate to my music, and I write about what I've gone through and what others have gone through, and I want to help people and know that they're not alone, that we all suffer and go through similar things. So yeah, I do want to have something good in the song and not just have that catchy hook. But sometimes you need that catchy hook so people listen to it. So because it grabs them. But if the song doesn't have a good meaning or story behind it, I don't think the hook will even work, because I sing a song if I like it and if I like the story. If I can't relate to it and I don't feel it, how can I sing it if I can't put myself into that situation? So, but I would say, I need to have a good story in the song for sure.
Yeah, it makes me think of a song like Born in the USA by Bruce Springsteen, which has a really good hook to it, but it's such a strong story about the Vietnam War.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's what the song's about.
Yeah, I was
always trying to understand what the song was about.
It was about the soldiers coming back and the way people reacted to them. They were getting spat on when they come off the trains and things like that. Yeah.
Wow. Have you interviewed Bruce Springsteen?
No. He's on the list of probably my top 10. If I could pick the top 10 people I'd like to interview, he's definitely on the list.
Oh, he's so nice. He's nice. Well, from what I've seen, I haven't met him, but I like when artists are very nice when you meet them. Mm-hmm.
I think the more into the industry people get, the more they realise quite a lot of people are nice on camera and not off camera. That happens a lot.
Yeah. It's called professionalism on TV. And I'm dealing with my own normal life, stressful not knowing how to handle things off camera. And Avril Lavigne actually said that in an interview. You don't know what happens behind the scenes, so I might be having the worst day, but I come on camera and I have to be professional, but off camera I'm dealing with the stress. So, but everybody is different. So even some of the interviews I've seen, they even snap on camera. It depends how much, but you learn from it, and hopefully it doesn't cause damage.
Yeah, I think with a lot of interviewers go out purposefully to try and pull something out of a celebrity that the celebrity might not want to talk about.
Yeah, and that's what they do a lot, and I kind of feel like, I feel sorry for the artist, because it's like, I don't like that, when somebody does that to an artist, but that's their job, I guess, to do that. So
yeah, I've always been under the impression the audience will appreciate it more if you have like a genuine conversation.
Yeah.
And then they get to see that side of the artist that they might not usually get to see, just their regular personality.
Exactly.
So your EP is produced, if I'm not mistaken, by Stuart Epps, is that right?
The first one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, he's quite a big name in the UK, working with people like Elton John, Led Zeppelin, Robbie Williams, people like that. How did that all come about?
Well, to this day, I'm still shocked by that opportunity, because that was a shock to my system. So when I was in college, I think 2010, I was in college, and I went to Algonquin College here in Ottawa, Canada, and I was in the pre-music production program, and there was one program called the producers class, so we got to talk about different producers and know who they work with and what they do, and we got to talk to Stuart on Skype, on video, so he could see us and we could see him. And I didn't know the camera was facing me, so I was on the right in the corner. I thought the camera was facing more the center of the class. When I was younger, I used to be very shy, so I used to put my hood up and cover myself. But I don't do that anymore. But I just didn't like the attention. I was just shy as a person. Anyway, what happened was he saw me. So but before he noticed me, he was asking the class, like, who plays an instrument? I would raise my hand. Who writes songs? I would raise my hand. Who records? I raised my hand. And maybe I was the one that was raising it the most. I don't know why he chose me. So then he looked at my teacher and said, "Hey, Lou, who's that girl on the left-hand side?" Because for him, I was on his left-hand side. And I'm like, oh my goodness, did he just pick me? And like, I'm in a class with 40 people, like 40 people in college. And I'm like, oh my God, he just picked me out of 40 people in the class. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And then he was just asking me if I record or what I'm planning to do, if I have any songs out or anything he can hear. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And then I said, of course I do. And then he asked me how I write, if I use the formula or if I write songs the way I feel like writing. Because back then I was writing songs without the formula. I was just writing it the way I felt like writing it. But now I do it the proper way. But at the end of the class, he told my teacher to give me his email. And a year later, I recorded with him. It took a year because, first of all, I had to finish college. Yeah. And secondly, we had to go back and forth, talk about, price and stuff and organize everything. And then also he wanted to hear what I've been doing, writing and stuff. So we had a whole year to discuss things. But then, we went there and oh my goodness, he got me a British band and he got me a metal drummer. Oh my God. He played in a metal band, but but he played drums like in a rock. Oh my God. And I was like, when I was in the studio, because of the accent, I tried to speak British and they would laugh at me because I wasn't succeeding very well. But I did get a bit of it because being there for a week in England, surrounded by British accents, I picked it up a little bit, but not so much that I was fluent. But it was nice, and everybody was so nice and welcoming, and they were feeding me and making sure because the first day I was jet lagged. Yeah. So Stuart said, you arrived, just sleep from now till morning. And Stuart told me, don't go to bed at like 8 o'clock our time. Go to bed at 1 o'clock our time. So it makes you feel like it's 10 o'clock or something Canadian time or whatever. He was trying to make me sleep later so it matched my Canadian time zone.
Yeah.
But it never worked because I kept on waking up in the middle of the night being so excited for studio. So I was jet lagged the whole way through, but it doesn't matter. I survived. But I every night for supper I had my fish and chips. Oh, it was so good. It was really good actually. I loved it. Yeah. But I didn't get to travel much because I was in and out of the studio. I didn't really see England.
Yeah.
Like London where I was. So my mom, when she was with me, she got to walk around and see all the places, and she would get me little muffins and stuff, but I was in and out of the studio, and then when I would be out of the studio, I would just go sleep afterwards. And then I wake up going like, it's not morning yet? No, but it was fun. I would love to go back there. It's beautiful.
Would you consider touring?
Yeah. I hear that it's very easy to tour in Europe because you're so close to you can bus to places easily. Yeah. A lot of artists go to Europe to start off. Because you're so welcoming of the new artists that are coming out. Yeah. So you guys accept the artists coming from different countries into your country. So
yeah, you see it quite a lot with musicians and with stand-up comedians in particular. A lot come over from Canada and the US to kind of hone their craft over here before going back.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
So when you were in the studio recording with Stuart Epps, what was that process like? What's it like sitting down with a producer?
Well, for me, he didn't need to go line by line in the studio.
Yeah.
He knew, well, I don't want to sound like I am good, but he said because I had a good pitch and I could sing. He didn't have to go line by line to help me how to sing the song properly like he did with some artists. So we just went in the studio and did it live off the floor. So I sang with the band at the same time.
That's awesome. Yeah, because it's
a
lot of the time with the singers in the studios, it's, as you said, it's line by line when they're learning to sing the song.
Yeah, for me, he said, let's make it sound like you're live. So let's do it with the band. So he wanted to make it sound raw. So people can hear that I can sing and that it doesn't have all those pitch perfect stuff. Cause I told him, please don't put autotune. Please. I want people to hear my voice. I don't want them to hear the robotic thing. But I don't know what he did, but I liked the record. but he let me hear everything while he was, mixing and mastering everything to make sure I like it as he's doing it. Like he never did something and not show me. Like he said, I just did this. Do you like it? Do you hear it? Because I can hear if it's good or not. like if I feel I'm a slightly off something, I can fix it.
Yeah.
I also don't like listening to myself, but in the studio you have to. But artists don't usually sit in the car listening to their own songs, or maybe they do. I don't know. We sing it so much that if we hear it over and over again. But yeah, he was good in the studio, and his wife made me lunch, and also for lunch she gave me a nice salad, and she gave me some kind of tea. I forgot what kind of tea it was, but it was a certain kind of tea that I could drink that would actually soothe my throat while I'm in the studio. So I forgot what it was, but it was this like medicine tea. It was good because I was singing a lot.
Yeah.
And I was very lucky I didn't strain anything, because, when you're jet lagged and you're in the studio standing on your feet, but I enjoyed it. So I don't think of it as work. I think of it as passion and love and enjoying it. I don't go in the studio and say, oh, this is work. I say, this is fun. This is enjoyable. Because if it was work, I wouldn't be doing it. I don't want to feel like it's a job.
Yeah.
To me, it's not a job. To me, it's something I enjoy waking up to and doing every day. I don't think of it like I have to wake up in the morning and drive to work, because I don't really have to drive to work. It's around me. It's always around me. So.
Yeah, I think one of the things you mentioned there about your voice in the studio, what a lot of people don't realise when they go to a concert is that singer could have done 100 shows just on the build up to that show. So if a singer misses a note or something, it's not that they're not good live. It's their voice is strained from the tour to that point.
Yeah, like we don't even know if they flew from another country to come for that show that day, and they already had a show at a different time zone. It's crazy, but there are ways to just not talk and drink a lot of fluid and just. I have done a show after a show, and I've learned if you don't talk, it actually works. Like if after a show, I did a show a couple of years ago where I had a back-to-back, but I had half an hour in between. I just didn't talk for 30 minutes. And then my voice was back to normal as if I didn't even sing before.
Yeah.
It's just knowing how to take care of your vocals, because the vocals is the money making, because that's where your voice is. And they also say singers should not talk a lot while they're touring because they need their voice for singing. Yeah. And talking and singing are the same thing. So if you talk too much, you won't be able to sing well, because they're both connected. It's interesting, huh?
Yeah. You do a lot of touring through the kind of central part of Canada. What's that schedule like?
It's fun. I enjoy performing, and I've gotten to the point where I don't lose my voice anymore, because I've learned how to sing properly, and I know the skills to protect the voice, and I know what to have while I'm warming up, and I love coffee after a show. I know I'm not supposed to have dairy, but after a show, I love to have a nice cup of black coffee. Calms me down, calms my nerves down, and I don't get nervous, but I have anxiety, and sometimes I freak out and I say I'm going to forget my lines and stuff like that. But everybody goes through that. Like, I practice so much, I know my stuff. But as soon as I get on stage, I'm fine. But I try not to overthink too much, because if you do it too often, you will forget your lines, because your mind will be so crazy. But as soon as I step onto the stage, that nervousness is gone, because I'm where I'm supposed to be on the stage and to sing for whoever is in front of me. So.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I have social anxiety disorder, so for me, going outside is quite stressful. And I get quite stressed just prior to interviews, but it's the moment the other person starts talking, something kicks in and the nerves go away. I think the funny thing is, as an audience member, you don't tend to see the nervousness of the artist, and you don't think about it, but all artists have to be going through it. Mm-hmm. Like even the Rolling Stones, who have been touring for 40 years, they must still get nerves going on stage when it's a big show.
Actually, it's actually good if you're a little bit nervous. It actually makes you sing better.
Yeah, I've actually, with the interview, and I've interviewed quite a few UFC fighters, and they say the same thing. Having a little bit of nerves is great to go into a big fight with. Too much nerves is the opposite, because it burns up your stamina. Because
if you're not nervous, I don't know why, but sometimes you actually do worse. Like if you have like too much confidence, I'm not going to mess up, actually you will mess up.
Yeah.
But if you go out there going, okay, I'm going to do my best, I have a little bit of nerves, it's going to be great, you will most likely not mess up. And honestly, I have forgotten lines a couple times, but because I'm a bit nervous, I just go on as if nothing happened and nobody will even notice. But if you stop and say, oh, I'm sorry, let's restart the song again.
Yeah.
It depends where you mess up the line. If it's at the beginning, I'll be like, oh, my bad. But they actually say an artist should not let the audience know that they messed up. It's actually kind of bad.
Yeah.
It's like a negative feel. You don't want to put that negativity. But some artists are so used to it, they just make a laugh at it, or like a Demi Lovato would be like, okay, I can't remember the first line of my song. You guys sing the first line for me. And then she just got the whole crowd to sing it. So, but she can do that. But for me, it's different. But some people actually sang with me when I did some cover songs. They were actually, when I sang an Avril Lavigne song, I could have let the whole crowd sing it. I couldn't believe they were singing every line with me. That felt like if it was my song, but that felt so cool though, having the crowd sing a cover song. They must have really liked that song. I forgot which one it was though, but yeah, but Avril Lavigne is really good, and she's also Canadian, so.
Yeah. She has a huge following in the UK.
I heard she started there first. Is that true?
I believe so, yeah.
Because somebody told me Avril Lavigne started touring in Europe before her name came to the States and Canada. She was doing some tour there, and it worked for her. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely remember people had seen her perform live before her first music video came out.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I can't remember what band it was she was supporting on a tour.
I don't know.
It was a biggish UK band at the time, but I can't remember which one it was.
Were they signed?
They were signed, yes.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Your EP that you sent to us, that will be playing on the radio station by the time this interview airs, has, like, the tracks on it are tremendous. What would you say has evolved in your style over the years as you've been going on?
Which one are you talking about? You're talking about the first one?
Yes.
Okay. So One Chance, Breakthrough, Ask.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. What has evolved?
Yes, as you've been going along in your music writing and singing and things, what do you feel has evolved in your style to become more Sabrina Fallah, and what your style is?
I think music-wise, I want to grow and get a bit harsher sound and more dark. That's my way of going, but I still want the Green Day influence in there.
Yeah.
I just want to have that sound, that powerful sound behind me. And for lyrics, I think I'm going to keep it the same. Talk about what I've been talking about, life and relationships, and things that people go through, because this world is cruel.
Yeah.
Like, so I wrote a song about depression. Paradise Comes with a Price, with another EP I released, and I had to write that song because I know a lot of people need the help. And like, I think people need to talk about mental illnesses more, because it's sad what everybody goes through.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons I released a documentary earlier this year on Amazon Prime on the subject of social anxiety disorder. Because people are, in the UK in particular, people do not talk about mental health, especially men. They see it as a sign of weakness. So I thought, so I thought if I was open enough to talk about it and talk with
it would help others.
Yeah. So with songs like that, what would you say is I don't know how I'm going to try and word this. When you're covering a topic that's as big as that and impactful as that and current as that, because mental health is a topic that's very current in the news and being talked about, how do you approach something like that, as opposed to saying, if you were writing a song that was about, I don't know, like a ballad, like romantic type song, or like a party type song? What's the difference in the writing approach?
Well, I write the truth in all of my songs. So I think with a party song, I'll be more loose. And something talking about a mental illness, I'll be more serious in the message. But I'll be careful with what I say, because when I was writing that song, Paradise Comes with a Price, with my co-writer, we had to make sure that it was helping the person, not making them feel bad that they're going through depression. Yeah. So we had to be very careful. And sometimes in writing a song, you have to be careful, because you also don't want to sound insulting. Because sometimes people can take words the opposite way from what you're saying. Yeah. So when I write a song in general, I want to make sure, even though I hate this guy and I want to write a song about him, I want to make sure I'm not insulting him, but I actually do want to insult him. But I want to make sure that when people hear it, that I'm not being just a rude person. I'm just trying to say, this guy lied to me, he cheated on me, and this is why I left him. But I don't have to go on saying the other details that don't have to be said, right?
Yeah.
But I remember one person I worked with did tell me, when you write a song, be careful. Because if you overwrite it, it might not be good. You don't want to overwrite it or over-explain something, because you don't really need to be honest completely. But the problem with me is I am honest, but at the same time, I'm trying to help people.
Yeah.
But I'm careful on how honest I am. If I want to say something more and I'm like, whoa, this is really going to give it away. But if I really want to give it away, I'll sing it and I'll give it away. But if I feel it's not time, I won't put it in the song. Because I have written songs where I'm like, whoa, if I put it out there, they're going to know who the song's about. Like, the person will know. And I haven't released that song, but one day I'll throw it out. I'll put it out there and boom, bada bing. Yeah.
Have you got any concerts or tours upcoming?
Yeah, I do. I'm still booking some for summer festivals and shows and bars and stuff. Yeah. For festivals, I'm still waiting for the information to put on my site.
Yeah. Because,
festivals start in May, April, and they always say, we'll get back to you then with all your information. So festivals are the longest to get your performance dates and times and stuff. So, yeah. But I will have them posted soon. I'm just waiting for some of the information.
Your website is sabrinafallah.com, is that right?
Yeah. And that's where everything. Also, I post on my social media sites also. Not social media sites. I also post my performance dates on Twitter. Like when I get them, I tweet them or I put them on Facebook too.
Yeah.
So I'm always posting a lot on social media. So, and I use all of my socials stuff like Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, MySpace. Oh, by the way, I still use MySpace. I know. I still use it, but it doesn't matter because it's still there. I'm going to post.
Yep.
And actually, people are still listening to my music on there. Shocking. Yeah, I guess people still go there.
Yeah, social media is incredibly important for an artist to be found by an audience.
Now it's like, if you don't have social media, you need it. Go get it. Go get it. And they always say, don't get one, get them all. Because you don't know who is going to find you in the social medias. So, yeah.
Even the Queen has a Twitter account nowadays.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. We'll share all your links and your website information out as well. So hopefully we'll get some more people heading over there and checking out your music. Definitely. And thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it. My pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Bye. I'd just like to thank Sabrina for coming on the show. It was great talking to her. On after this show is, yes, we are recording this, and it is a great one this week. So make sure to stick around and listen to that. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye. The Drew Carson Show is taped in front of a live cockapoo.